Episode 5 of Invincible Season 3 is really an outlier, mainly because it breaks the streak of perfect 1 through 4 episodes that Season 3 has been putting out. Although people consider this to be the filler episode this season, it's still a pretty decent one. So what I think of it? Well, to cut it short, the episode was alright. Nothing too good like episode 4, or nothing good like basic episodes. This one was just okay, like a alright filler episode. And I don't even know why people consider this filler, since this is really following up a story from season 1 episode 6, so it's trying to fill in that plot hole and trying to wrap up the Street War story and then prepare for the last 3 episodes of this season of season 3 and what the stories arcs they're trying to set up. So this really, even though it is considered filler, it's really not, and it's not all that bad. The story in here that they wrapped up was pretty great, and I thought they executed that mission well. And although they wrapped up a few stories in here, they also really did good in character development. For Multi-Paul and Duplicate, they didn't dive too deep, but at least we got some sort of composition and oh, this is their story, this is what they went through, which gives them character development. Which, to be honest, I'm glad they kind of were able to accomplish that this episode. Multi-Paul is already a good character himself. He's not annoying like Duplicate. And because of this episode, it raises their characters a bit higher. Because now we can actually see their stories and how tragic of a character they really are, taken into by the GDA at such a young age. But Duplicate will always be like a C tier hero, and Multi-Paul will be a badass assassin. And I really like, there's one scene in this episode where it is so, not even 10 minutes into the episode, and Multi-Paul already trying to break out, and it's so gruesome that he gets out of his cell. It really shows how he actually knows how to use his powers really effectively and efficiently, instead of Duplicate, because Duplicate literally died to the Lizard League, or fake death, and although that's smart for having a backup copy, still, you got wiped out by the Lizard League, and Multi-Ball out here boxing, and it's considered as Bass Assassin to Mr. Liu. Finally, we get more development of Rexplode, as this episode he made a dinner for Shrinking Ray, which I thought was pretty nice of him. You can clearly see that Shrinking Ray and Rexplode are sort of developing a relationship, and I don't know, maybe something might happen between them. So I'm really glad they're trying to reform Rexplode this season and last season, making him from the douchey character to now one of the most beloved characters of the series, making him easily a top 5 character in the show. I really like that about what the show is trying to accomplish, even making Immortal and Duplicate likable characters these past 2 episodes. It's what the show is really good at, and it's why this show is regarded as a good animated series. Now finally to the main event of this episode. Invincible is having again to team up with Titan, just like in season 1 episode 6. Basically it's more crime stuff, and it picks up right where we left off, where basically Titan is the crime boss of the city now, ever since Machine Head got taken up by the Global Defense Agency. So now he takes up, along with his henchman Isotope, and the story they followed up with it is pretty great. Of course, Mark doesn't want to deal with this, because last time he helped out Titan, he got wiped out by a battle beast, and that did not end so well for Mark, since he was near death. So I'm pretty sure that's reasonable why Mark was trying to put Titan in jail. And although we already saw Titan try to get Multi-Paul out of jail in episode 3, he still does not work this time, so something bad goes on after Mr. Louis finds out that Titan did not get Multi-Paul out of jail. Before we get into that, first I like how we can see Oliver healing from whatever happened from episode 3 when he killed the Mauler twins. We see him develop, and he becomes more of a good character, and I can't wait to see what the show does with this character more, especially in the upcoming episodes. Now before we get into it, first off, Mr. Liu basically is like a Asian crime lord who basically one of his forms he can turn into a dragon, but his physical body is still exists, so he needs either his bodyguard with the size of Nebraska to guard it, or he leaves it somewhere, I don't know. But yeah, so basically he finds out that Titan did not break Multi-Ball out of prison, so he turned into a big dragon, and Okay, so in the trailers, I didn't think, this dragon looks normal, but when you see like Titan's office when he finally exits, like turns into that first form, dude, it is so huge. And so he wipes out Titan, and he wipes out Invincible. Not wiping out, he packs up Invincible. In this episode, I did notice a parallel to whenever Invincible and the dragon were fighting. Of course, in season 2, Anissa was in the show, and she went like, there was like this abomination that was like destroying a cruise, and Anissa one-shotted that thing while Invincible could barely like land a hit. So I thought Invincible was gonna pull out that same move, but he's still holding back, and that's why he got packed up by this dragon. Now, before going into this episode, I knew he was gonna get packed up by Mr. Louis' dragon form, but I didn't know he would get that packed up with freaking blood coming out of his body, bro. It's not that gruesome, but like it's like the most packed up he's been in this season, and he's supposed to fight Conquest at the end of this season. So I don't know how they're gonna do that if he gets this easily packed up by a dragon while still holding back. At least in this episode, finally, like Blue Suit Mark and while he's dating Eve, they can finally fight together. And I like their action scenes together against Mr. Louis. It was pretty fun to see them cooperate together, and I really liked that about that scene with where they both show off a power move. And that's just what I like. That's why I like Mark and Eve better than Mark and Amber, because you know they actually this time they develop on their chemistry, and that's what I like about their characters. And the animation actually looked decent this episode, although I see people saying, oh, the animation looks bad, it's just 1 frame per second. It actually looked quite decent this episode, and that's what I really liked about the fight with Mr. Louis. And I know this review is cut short, but I just want to do the last 3 episodes already. So before we cut this short, finally the GOAT returns. Machine Head is back, and thank gosh they kept the auto-tune voice there, because I thought they would have taken it out since, you know, he's been in prison for a long time. He would have cut that, but no, thank God they brought back the auto-tune, and his voice is sounding good as ever. He's funny as ever. He's really the comic relief. And thankfully, Isotope Titan and Machine Head's plan worked, and finally Machine Head is basically back in the Mafia. And how he kills Mr. Louis is so cold. I mean, like he said, it does feel like cheating, but I thought it was pretty cool how they dealt with that, even though they do bring him back by the end of the episode. Still, Machine Head is pretty cool, and I like how we got back to the top rank of Mafia. And thankfully, Machine Head does make amends with Titan, and he lets Titan go finally. But I didn't so Machine Head, he's just Machine Head. I thought like he's probably not even a person under there, and he's like, for a while he seemed like a joke, considering how he just uses money to pay people. He used money to pay Battle Beast, or he used money to get Titan Isotope out of there, and he's just like one of the goofy people at the Mafia table, until he says this specific piece of dialogue right here.
At me again, and I'm gonna drown you in your kid's blood while I tear off your wife's skin and eat her heart. And I don't even eat meat, so that's saying a lot. Comprende?
Yeah, so I don't think Machine Head is to be messed with. That's what all I have to say for episode 5, the filler episode. So this episode gets a 7 out of 10. It was okay. I liked it. I liked the dragon stuff. I liked the Mafia stuff. And we get a wrap to Titan, Machine Head, and Mr. Louis' story. Or at least, not a wrap, but a continuation. We're probably gonna see them again, since at the end of this episode, Mr. Louis is back. Okay, that's what I have to say about episode 5 of Invincible season 3. This has been Jacob_114, and I will see y'all in the next review. Bye, everybody.